what's gonna happen is that these guys are gonna lie and say they had sex with at least 100 women. And the reason why they're gonna do that is because
what's this all about?
Click the link below to get the ebook Looks Don't Matter, 7 Ways to Attract Women Without Your Looks, or go straight to mr.locario.com right now to get your copy today.
listen, I want to tell you guys that women, they're never going to tell you the truth about this one thing. And this one thing is my favorite topic, about the body count. Now, I know you've heard me talk about this a million times, but I want to take it on a different perspective that'll probably really help you understand this, right? I'm gonna flip it so you guys understand, right? So what happens is a lot of guys say, well, you know what, I'm never gonna wife up a girl that has a high body count, yada, yada, yada. Cool. My question always is how do you know what her body count is? And the answer is you don't know. And you will never know because they will never tell you the truth. Now, what happens is that some of y'all will say, well, I could kind of tell based off of her behavior, and you know, maybe she has tattoos, so she's a wild chick and all this other stuff, right? But you really don't know. So therefore what happens is that the reason why women are gonna lie to you about their body count is because they want to get wifed up. They want to be in certain situations where they can have, you know, certain men be their boyfriends, husbands, and all that other shit, and they know that y'all don't like the high body count, therefore they're going to lie about it. Now, one of the reasons why they're going to lie about it, or I should say this, one of the reasons why this is an issue when it comes to this is because you have to understand that it's actually unrealistic to expect to find a good majority of women who have a low body count. You understand? And the reason why it's unrealistic is because when you're out here doing what you do, when you're out here in reality, women actually like sex, and they're sexual beings just like you, and therefore they're going to want to have sex. And if these women aren't necessarily in a long-term relationship and they're dating, they're usually gonna rack up body counts, right? So it's unrealistic to expect to find a good majority of women who have a low body count. Now, does this mean that that doesn't exist? No. Of course there are women out there who have, you know, that low body count and all that other stuff, right? That exists, but it's not a lot out there for it to be a realistic goal for you if you're trying to wife up a chick. Because the reality is most of the chicks that you're gonna wife up are going to have a high body count, right? Now, whatever's high to you, it's high to you. For some dudes, for some unrealistic reason, they're like, oh, she had sex with more than 2 guys, that's a high body count. If she had sex with more than 5 dudes, that's a high body count, you know. So dudes think that, right? And I'm letting you guys know that's unrealistic. Now, I'm gonna tell you the reason why and show you, you know, why they lie, why they have to lie, and why, you know, you're never really gonna know the truth. And on top of it, this topic is extremely nonsensical when you think about it. Now, let's flip the script. Let's say that, you know, women out there, not only the women that are out there, but just like, let's say the women you want, right? Let's just say women in general to make this easier. Let's say women in general said, you know what? We are not gonna have sex with any men unless they've had sex with at least 100 women. Think about that. You see how, like, you guys said, we're not gonna wife a girl up with a high body count? What if women said, we're not gonna have casual sex and hook up with any guys unless they had sex with at least 100 women? Think about that. Now, you guys would be like, come on, that's some bullshit. That's unrealistic. Because how many guys out there are actually having sex with over 100 women, or at least 100 women. How many? Not many. And it would be unrealistic for that to be the thing to do, correct? Or to say, like, we're not gonna fuck any guys unless they had over, 100 women they fucked, right? And then you're like, you say to the woman, that's stupid. Well, why would you want to do that? That doesn't make any sense. And then they're like, well, listen, if a guy hasn't had sex with 100 women, that means he doesn't have any experience. And I want to make sure that when I have sex with a guy, he's experienced so I can have a good time and yada, 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 and all this other shit, right? So they're going to say that type of shit. Even though that's not necessarily true, you could fuck 100 women and still be terrible in bed. But that's neither here nor there. But what's going to happen is they're saying, look, we're not going to fuck any dudes unless they had sex with over 100 women. Now, let's put on our thinking caps for a second. When these men meet these women, do you think these men are going to be honest about how many women they slept with? Or do you think they're going to lie and pretend they had sex with at least 100 women? Come on, guys, you know the answer. What's going to happen is that these guys are going to lie and say they had sex with at least 100 women. And the reason why they're going to do that is because they want to make sure that they're going to get sex. You see what I'm saying? They're going to lie so that they can get the sex, because if they tell the women, hey, listen, if they say, hey, listen, I only had sex with, 6 women in my life. The women are like, nah, I ain't fucking you. You only had sex with 6 women. I need 100 or better. So then what's going to happen is the guy who had sex with 6 women, he's going to lie and say, nah, I had sex with 100 girls. Now, how would she necessarily know up front that you haven't had sex with 100 women? How? Right? So let's say you lie to her. You say, listen, I had sex with... Let's say you say I had sex with 110 women in my life, right? How is she gonna know that you're lying? In most cases, she's not going to know, correct? Because there's no way for her to know specifically if you are lying or not. You understand what I'm saying? Now, based off of, let's say, for example, your behavior over a period of time, maybe she could, figure out, okay, this guy's probably, he seems like the type of guy who hasn't had that much sex based off his behavior over a period of time in certain situations. But just off the strength that you meet some girl at a bar, club, whatever, and she's like, yeah, man, I'm interested in fucking you, but how many sex partners have you had? And you're like, you only slept with 6 or 7 women, right? You are going to lie and say over 100 because you want to fuck. Just like the women are going to lie and say their body count is low because they want a commitment. So when dudes are out here making this an issue, acting like, like this is like a very important thing as far as, their decision making when it comes to dealing with women. When guys act like this is an important thing, it's not really, because there's no real way to know this about her body count. And then what happens is that the thing that you're doing is you're just making decisions off of emotion, which is based off of your insecurity. You understand? Because there's no realistic way to know what the count is in order to make a rational decision if that's what you want. Because a lot of dudes say to me, Locario, well, if a guy wants to have a woman with a low body count, what's the big deal? Like, shouldn't a man have standards and all this other stuff? And I say, yeah, that's cool. And I would literally say nothing about this if there was an actual way to accurately, know what the body count is. Like, if there was an accurate way to do this, where you knew exactly what her count was, then I would shut the fuck up. But because there's no accurate way, but then you make life choices based off of something that you can't actually compute, you're ridiculous. You're going based off of a feeling, and you're going based off of that feeling strictly based off your insecurity. You see what I'm saying? So just like how that woman could not tell whether or not you slept with, 100 women or not, you can't tell where the goddamn body count is. And what's gonna happen is they will never tell you the truth. They will never tell it. Because if the tables are turned and women wouldn't fuck you unless they knew you fucked 100 women, niggas be out here talking about, yo, I fucked 100 women. Y'all be lying like a motherfucker to get the pussy, correct? Just like these women are lying like a motherfucker to get wifed up. And this is why women are never gonna tell the goddamn truth, because what you're doing is you're holding them to a standard that is unrealistic. It is unrealistic to expect women to have a low body count because women like sex. It is unrealistic for a woman to expect you, or the average dude, to have a body count or to fuck 100-something girls. They say that statistically, most dudes have less than 7 or 8 sex partners in their entire life. So if that's the case, then it is unrealistic for a woman to expect that. The same way, it is unrealistic for you to expect that you're gonna run into women with low body counts. All of this is wishful thinking based off of your insecurity. That's it. That's it.
Now, before you go, click the link below and go to badboymembership.com. Now, badboymembership.com is a place where you go to get 45 through 90-minute audio and video dating advice tutorials every month. Listen, I know you're tired of being rejected. Go to badboymembership.com. I know you're tired of being afraid to approach women. Go to badboymembership.com. I know you're tired of not getting the women that you want. Go to badboymembership.com. Listen, I know you're tired of being alone on a Friday night. Go to badboymembership.com. Now picture this. You'll go from not getting what you want when it comes to you dealing with women to actually getting what you want, to being the guy women want to be with, women want to date, women want to have sex with. All you need to do is go to badboymembership.com, follow the steps, learn the game, implement the game, and then you will get the woman you want. Make sure you go to badboymembership.com today. Click the link below. Click the link below or go straight to mr.locario.com to get the documentary Game Kings, The Definition of Game.